people who are in a state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 554 of the Immigration Answer Show. I'll be here for the next hour, assuming we have people in the waiting room. Right now, there's nobody in the waiting room, and that's unusual. Usually these days, when I start a show, there's 3 or 4 people, but I guess it's pretty darn early, especially for our sisters and brothers on the West Coast. How is everybody doing? Good to see a lot of our favorite friends. I see Hope is here. All In is here. Vadim, good morning. Dobry Utro. Chetty's here. Carolyn is here, as she so often is. Hope says hello to me. Thank you very much. Facebook user says happy Saturday. And Abby Sumbo says, what does Abby Sumbo say? Good morning, beautiful people. It's going to be a good day and a great show today. It is going to be a beautiful day. It's pretty here in St. Louis. Nor has just one game today. Just one game today at 2 p.m. Central Time. That'll be fun. And then we got invited to an iftar over at a friend of ours' house. She always has an iftar the first Saturday of Ramadan. So it's one of Amani's Egyptian friends, our friend Shireen, and she makes quite the feast. So we'll be having a big old feast around 7 p.m. tonight. How are you guys all doing? Oh, Hooli's here. What's up, Hooli? Nice to see you. The waiting room people are coming in already. Let me share again the link. Lindy says hello. Happy Saturday. David is here. David saved my bacon the other day by pointing out that a green card holder's daughter had been over the age of 18 when the green card holder married a U.S. citizen. So I always appreciate the comments, especially when I say something that's not correct. We're all about trying to get the correct answer for people, not trying to just show how smart Jim is, because Jim makes lots of mistakes. Jim does his very best. We had a fun week this week. On one of our lawsuits, a judge in Pennsylvania ruled that our claim under the Administrative Procedures Act could proceed. This is for a fellow who's been waiting for his asylum case for more than 4 years to be decided, 4 years. And the judge said that she was not convinced that, as a matter of law, 4 years was a reasonable amount of time. That's going to be a lot of fun. We can use that in other cases now. But most importantly, the lawsuit is going to help get our client an asylum interview, which is what they are after. In another case, I've told you guys this before, but thank you, James. One of the real dirty tricks, one of the real black holes, sometimes people come on the show and say, oh, I'm really in a black hole, Jim. Well, one of the real black holes is when you file for an I-130 or an I-129F, but usually an I-130 for an overseas case. USCIS approves it. They say, yeah, we believe this marriage. Then the case goes over to the embassy after processing through national visa. So here you've waited 1.5 years for your embassy interview. And for whatever reason, the State Department doesn't like the relationship, and they decide to send it back for possible revocation. Well, possible revocation is a terrible limbo, black hole place to be. The people that come to us, they say, well, I reach out to the State Department. They don't know where the file is. I reach out to USCIS. They say they haven't received it yet. They say, we already approved the I-130. Why are you bothering us? And they're really stuck in a no man's land. So in those cases, we sue USCIS and the State Department. So we filed one of these lawsuits in Texas, and the client had been waiting for the embassy for a year to send it back to USCIS just to see if it was going to be revoked. Now, listen, 90% of the time USCIS receives a case for possible revocation, they reaffirm their decision, at least in our office. I don't know, for the whole world, but if the marriage is legit, overcoming a possible revocation isn't a fatal thing, isn't impossible to do. So most of these cases get sent right back to the embassy. So really, in a way, they're just delay tactics. Sometimes there's merit to it. Sometimes there's questions about whether the person was legally divorced, or there's a clean legal reason, and you can see why USCIS received it back from the State Department. But generally, these are just delay tactics. So we had a guy who was waiting, like I said, for a year. This is a former client of ours. We had helped him in the past get his citizenship, and we sued. And we kept telling the government attorney, all we want is the NOIR. All we want is the NOIR, the notice of intent to revoke, so that we could respond to it and get the case moving again. They kept screwing with us. They filed a motion to dismiss. They refused to send the notice of intent to revoke. It was really not good. So we filed a lawsuit. They file a motion to dismiss. We file a reply. They file the final response, and the judge takes it under advisement. And as you may know, if they file a motion to dismiss, the judge can hold on to the case for as long as they want. And in this case, the judge did us a favor, and he set it for hearing yesterday. And he gave us like a month's notice. And we kept telling him, if you send us that notice of intent to revoke, we'll dismiss the case. If you send us that notice of intent to revoke, we'll dismiss the case. So Thursday at noon, the U.S. attorney sends me the notice of intent to revoke and says, here's the notice of intent to revoke. Can you dismiss? So of course we did, because we are lawyers of our word, and we did what we said we would do. But how ridiculous is it that this agency is so backwards that it takes a lawsuit and a judge scheduling time on his calendar for these clowns to do their jobs? So they finally did the notice of intent to revoke, and truth be told, it's a pretty tough NOIR. So we'll see what happens with that. But it is what it is, and that's why we do it. So Nurse Laura is reminding me that it's pretty damn early in Seattle, but it hopefully will be warm and sunny. Are you working today, Laura? I don't know. All right. Well, the waiting room has now indeed filled up, so let's get to it. How about that? I'll post the link again in a second. Yep, the waiting room is now full. Hey, Patrick, what do you say?
Hey, Jim, thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. So I just have a quick question. My friend is a Scandinavian citizen. He lives in Denmark, and he's visited the U.S. once a year for the past 2 or 3 years on an ESTA. Excuse me. And he's stayed here for about 30 to 60 days a piece. And so he comes here to visit his friends and to, spend his holidays here.
Sure.
So my question is, or his question is, he wants to find a job in the U.S. and get a work-based green card, but will his yearly visits here to the States be looked at funny when he applies for a green card?
Well, of course, for the most part, it's not him applying, right? So because he has ESTA and he doesn't have to actually get an embassy appointment and get a visa, it might go easier on him. But there will be an I-140 filed for a position with his name on it. So at some point, if anybody ever asks, he'll have to say that process has started for him. So what I would do, I don't know, when you get ESTA, I don't know how many, I guess there aren't deadlines on it, right? You can do it as many times. It's not like a visa, so you don't have an expiration date on ESTA.
But you get an ESTA for 2 years, right? And then you have to renew it?
Okay, see, I don't know because I don't deal with this. Okay, so what I would do is I would wait until the next time that I get my ESTA renewed, and then I would start the process with the employer. But, there's a whole lot of the process. It depends on what category the person's looking for. But, for most people, they have to go through the perm process. That's going to take a year and a half before they can even file the I-140. So all during that time, the person should be okay.
Okay. So I think his concern is, since he's gone to the U.S. like multiple times for longer stays, like 30 to 60 days, will they look at it like, you have had an immigration intent?
No.
Like, okay.
No, but I mean, anytime someone enters ESTA more than twice a year, I think that's a problem.
Okay.
Regardless of the I-140.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Bye, Patrick. See you, buddy. Yep. All right. Harley's here. Hello, Harley.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Springfield, Missouri, so kind of your hometown.
Not too far.
Not too far. I have some very basic questions for you. I hope that they're not too fundamental.
It's all good.
I am a Canadian citizen with a permanent resident card since 1968. My green card expired a year ago, and I'd like to apply for U.S. citizenship. So
Awesome.
my fundamental question is, can I use uscis.com as a end-to-end solution for the application process, or am I missing something there?
Well, I would never say anything related to the federal government is an end-to-end solution. I would never say that. But that being said, if you're asking me, Jim, can I apply online for my N400?
Yeah.
And I would say yes. So we just did our very first test electronic N400 this week in the office for actually a friend of the firm. We're applying for her N400. We're doing it for free. And we did it all online and it worked out really well.
So I can make my payment to them.
Yeah, and I think your case is going to go pretty quickly. I bet you get naturalized in the next 4 months.
Oh, God bless you for saying that. Well, that answers my last question. If I wanted to travel, I can certainly wait for 4 months to travel. I'd like to. My mother's family is from England, so I'd like to go there from time to time. But
have you had any trips outside the United States more than 6 months since 1968?
No, sir.
So you're good. Yeah. So, I mean, I would hold off maybe on the trip. Now, remember, once you get your citizenship, then you're going to have to travel on your U.S. passport. So there's a little time there where it's tricky to travel. But I think I would they're rushing people to naturalize right now. And if they're looking at someone who's had their green card longer than I've been alive, then they're going to sail right through. Just a couple of years. I'm 1970, so just a couple of years.
Oh, made me feel better.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though my green card is expired, I can start the process?
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. You can file for citizenship with an expired green card, but if you want to travel outside the United States while that naturalization case is pending, you have to pay the I-90 fee and get that part started again, and get a stamp in your passport. Otherwise, you can't leave.
I can certainly wait for the sense piece. I can wait until the process.
Perfect.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for all that you're doing for us. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, Harley. See you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
1968. That's a long time to have a green card. That's 54 years, 56 years. How about that? That's pretty awesome. All right. I love seeing those old green cards, especially if it has pictures of little kids on it. Our friend who we're naturalizing, she had a little picture from when she was 2. Yeah, Harley is nodding in the waiting room. Bernardo is here. Hi, Bernardo.
Hi, how are you, Jim? Thank you for having me here.
Sure, man. What's up?
Look, I have an extra issue too. I came from Argentina almost 2 months ago. I am making a training with my fellows and colleagues from the USA Band and Navy Band. I am actually the staff arranger at the Argentinian Air Force, right?
Okay.
And I'm making a training. My colleagues encouraged me to keep on the training beyond the 90 days. I have the permission to stay legally here, right?
Yes.
So the problem is I have to go after before the 90 days, but I want to come back again. So the problem is there a way to extend the permission to stay here?
No.
Or I have to go out and then come here and demonstrate that I will back to continue my training. What do you think about it?
I think that as soon as they find out that you're doing training, they're not going to let you into the United States. ESTA is not for what you're trying to use it for. They want you to either get a visa or figure something out. I think they would view this as ESTA abuse and revoke your ESTA. That's what I think. If you try to come back right away, I think they're going to revoke your ESTA. If they figure out that you're coming for training, they're going to revoke your ESTA. So I don't think this is a good plan.
Okay. So can you say that again, please?
Yeah. So ESTA is not for what you're doing.
Okay.
ESTA is for visiting.
Okay.
You're not supposed to come to the United States on ESTA for training or anything related to employment,
Okay.
right? So for things like that, you're supposed to get a visa.
Okay. Yeah. So
So I
there.
think you need to figure something out, and you certainly shouldn't do what they're saying, which is stay longer. That's not it. The right thing to do is to figure out what kind of a visa you can get and come back on a visa to do this.
Okay. So if I try to came back again, they are not going to allow to me to came back again, right?
Well, hold on. Now, David's pointing out that Argentina. So you're saying you have ESTA as an Argentinian?
I am Italian citizen. I have
Okay.
double
Okay, that
citizenship.
makes sense. Yep. Okay. So, in any event, ESTA is not for what you're doing. ESTA is for visiting, coming and going. It's not for coming for training, and it's certainly not. If it is for coming for training, it's not for coming for training more than 90 days.
Okay. Okay. So
All right.
I have no option that came back to Argentina and get a visa and came back again.
Or Italy.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
Jim.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bernardo. See you, buddy. All right. All right. So Harab's here. What's up, Harab?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Jim. Long time no talk.
How you been? How you been?
Yeah, I have been. I refer to you. A lot of my friends they're applying for the green card and citizenships and something like that. Lots.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I
Thank you.
like you the way you are handling the case. I believe that it is very a good opportunity for them to contact with you. Already couple of guys they contact with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. One thing. I got my green card in the back in 2016. I got the citizenship after 5 years, and my wife also got the same thing as a spousal. And I got my green card employer sponsor. Okay,
Mhm.
my wife also got it, but my wife sometimes. I am living in the USA as most of the times in the remote area. For I am working in the remote engineering, something like that, very remote in the nuclear power plant. The remote places, the cities over the population is maybe the 3,000, 4,000, very remote.
Nobody wants to live there,
Yeah,
including your wife.
my wife, she doesn't like it. Sometimes she's living with my son in Canada, not more than couple of months, and she's going oftenly visit to me. But when I was applying for my passport, she does not qualify for the 913 days. Okay. And if she applied, does it accept it or not?
What's the start date on her green card?
Nothing. She has a green card over here with her.
No, when did she get the green card? When was
Same,
the
2016 October.
Okay? And so you're saying in the last 5 years she hasn't lived here half the time?
Yeah.
She hasn't lived with you or hasn't lived in the United States?
She frequently lived with me, but does not. It's a 913 days. She lived in Canada also sometime with my son and daughters. Sometime she has a Canadian passport also.
Okay, so the question is on the day that you apply for citizenship, or
Mhm.
that she applies,
No.
has she had any more trips longer than 6 months?
No.
No trips more than 6 months.
No.
Okay, that's good. Then the next question is, like you said, half the time in the United States. So 365 times 5 divided by, well, she could apply into the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule. Has she stayed in the United States more lately, or is most of her U.S. in the past?
It's about a less than in the. She's living a lot of times in the with my kids, and she has some health issues. She was a cancer survivor.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. She can't apply until she has enough good time in the United States. So she has good days and bad days. Good days are inside the United States. Bad days are outside the United States. So you need to keep a chart of all of her travel, and then you're going to need her to stay here for a good long while to get enough good time to apply for citizenship. Otherwise, the case will be denied. It's just math. It's nothing else.
Okay. And as soon as the 913 days, it is as per requirement 913 days. And
Well, I mean, I'm not good at math, but it's 365 times 5 divided by 3. No, I'm sorry, divided by 2. Sorry. 365 times 5 divided by, no, 365 divided by 5. No, sorry.
no. It is
365
within 5
times
years,
5
930
equals
days.
divided by 2 equals 913 days. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, 913 days. Okay. The 913 days, she has to stay in the first 5 years or the second 5 years. Say,
So on the day, it's the latest. So on the day that she applies, it's a 5-year look back.
Oh, back.
Yep.
On the day she
And-
will apply, it will be 5 year will be black, and then it will be the 913 days.
And on the day she applies, she needs 90 days in the district where you live. So where she's going to apply from, she needs to be there for those 90 days before she applies.
Yeah, I know that. I apply from the New York.
Good.
And then she need to. Okay, if in case, say she does not want to apply, say if it is expired the green cards, and she has to apply for the extension of the green card. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long it will take to get the green card renewal?
It takes a year.
Mhm.
But once she gets her receipt notice back, she can call USCIS and ask to make an appointment to stamp it in her passport. But they're not going to like her being gone so much. So they're going to give her a hard time, I think.
Okay. No, she's staying with my daughter. My daughter is in United States. She's staying, and then I think so. In this the next couple of year and 2, and she will be the 930 days continuously.
Okay, great. Thanks,
And
Harry.
then we have to give the list for the days and from the beginning of the 2016 to the end of that day she will apply.
Well, 2016 doesn't matter anymore. Now what matters is 2019 to 2024.
Okay.
That's what I mean. If she had good days back in 2017, 2018, those don't matter anymore. It's all about on the day you apply, you go back 5 years.
5 years. Okay.
And you show there aren't any trips more than 6 months.
Okay. When she will apply, it is a back 5 years. That's a good answer. Okay.
Yeah. So if she applied today, they would look back to March 15th of 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. So March 15th, 2019 through now. How many days did she have?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I got the answer. Okay. Another thing. My friend, he's trying to contact with you. His name is Aziz Muhammad, and he will applying for the citizenship, him and his wife, and how he can get your invitations that he can join your stream or the yeah.
He's got to text the word show to. I'll put it here in the. He just texts the word show to 314-470-3300. If he sends that text to show, he'll get the link every day.
Okay, 314-470
3300.
Okay, just a second. I'll write it down.
Okay.
314
470
470
3300.
3300. Once he will send a text this number, then you will invite them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Aziz Muhammad, and his wife. He was trying to contact with you. He fails a couple of times, and then I told him, then okay, you can contact with. I gave them a lot of reference with names and everything. They are very happy with your service.
Thank you, sir. See you, buddy.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Have a happy Ramadan. Bye.
Thank you. Ramadan Kareem. See ya. All right. That is right. It's day 6 of Ramadan. We're rocking and rolling our way through the fast. Hey, listen, I went to the mosque yesterday, and one of my buddies, Sheikh Zahid, came up to talk to me, and he likes me because I send him 693 people, so people that need the medical exam for their green card, and he's only $350. I think some people pay $1,000 for that 693. He's in St. Louis, but I asked him if he can come on the show and talk about the medical exam and how that all works, and see if he could take some questions. And he said yes. So I like having these guests who really have a narrow niche of information. And I also thought it might be helpful, as much as I hate to say it, to have someone on talk about the affidavit of support, but maybe not. What the heck? All right. Let's say hi to Sean. Hi, Sean.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. So I have like a quick question. Like one of my friend's daughter, who's a U.S. citizen, applied for her husband, who is living in Canada as a permanent resident in the month of October 2023.
Okay.
So in the month of February, he got his Canadian passport, and he visited the U.S. For like few days, and he went back. No,
Okay.
his green card is under process, but when she applied for his green card, he was on a permanent resident card of Canada.
Right.
So, like, what are the next steps she needs to do? Like, update the status of the passport, Canadian passport, or
This is an overseas case.
uh-huh.
He's going to consular process. He's not going to adjust
Yeah,
status.
he applied for consular processing. Yes.
Okay. So, and the I-130 is still pending.
Uh-huh. Yes.
USCIS hasn't approved the I-130 yet.
No, not yet.
She doesn't need to do anything. She can just wait till it gets approved.
Uh-huh.
Then when the case gets sent to the National Visa Center and she fills out the DS-260, that's when she'll let them know that he became a Canadian citizen, has a Canadian passport. This is his passport number. This is a copy of the biographic page from his passport. That's when that'll happen. She doesn't have to do anything right now, because right now they're just trying to figure out if the marriage is legit.
Oh, okay. So how long the process is taking?
That'll take a year, and then the second part will take a year or more. And a couple months.
It's almost like 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you travel like if you get a TN visa?
Well, if he has a TN visa, like if he has a job that someone wants to sponsor him for a TN,
Uh-huh.
why would he do that? He's so close to getting a visa. I wouldn't mess with that.
No, you said like it's almost like a couple of years now.
Yeah, but
So you said like 1 year for I-130, and
if he has a job that's worthy of a TN and he has a legit employer that wants to sponsor him, sure, yeah, they can do that.
okay, so it doesn't hurt, right?
Well, but here's the thing. A TN visa is a non-immigrant visa.
Mm-hmm.
A TN visa is a non-immigrant visa, and an I-130 that she filed for him is an immigrant visa. So he's already demonstrated immigrant intent.
Mm-hmm.
He's already said, I want to live in the United States for the rest of my life. I want to be a permanent resident in the United States through marriage to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Once he's rung that bell, once he's said that, then the chances of getting a non-immigrant visa like a TN go way, way down. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. So, but he just can travel being a Canadian citizen. That's all he can do right now.
Right.
Okay. So, is there any way that can speed up the process for the green card I-130?
The only thing that we've talked about before on the show, sometimes people call and they say, hey, Jim, my wife filed an I-130 petition for me. I'm from Canada, and I come and go every now and then to the United States. And this time I came on the trip, and while I was here, USCIS approved the I-130. Could I go ahead and apply for adjustment of status and forget the consulate? And they do that. That works, as long as they don't have that intent when they come across the border. If they decide to do that here, that's a different thing.
Okay, that's after I-130 approval, but they cannot work, right, till they get the
Correct.
EAD. So they have to be like, because he has a good job there, he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with any of that TN business. I would just focus on trying to get the green card case going and then figuring out how I'm going to live in the United States after.
Oh, okay. So there's no way we can expedite the process?
No.
We'll just wait and watch.
Only the way that I mentioned, that if once the I-130 is approved, they could try to adjust in the United States. That would save a year or 6 months.
No, once adjustment of status, once he applies locally after he's here, so he cannot work for how many, 3 months, 2 months?
Well, he can't apply in the first 60 days that he's here. Otherwise, he'll get in trouble. And then a work card takes 3 or 4 months. So yeah, six months or more.
Okay, without work.
Yep.
Okay, sir. That's all. Thank you very much.
Bye, Sean. See you, buddy. Hina's liking our Showtime. In Bahrain, we come on at dinner time. How about that? It seems so early here. Haha. Sam is here. What do you say, Sam?
Oh, hi. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh,
Oh,
fine.
hey, Sam, I'll be right back. Hold on. Hi, baby. I have my little friend here. Bye, babe. Have
See you
fun.
later.
I'll see you
Have
when you're
fun.
back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see you as soon as I get back.
Okay,
Awesome.
bye. Hi, Sam. Sorry about that.
Yes, I have a friend. He applied for the green card renewal,
Mhm.
and the thing is, he got the renewal within 2 weeks. The new card.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
But the thing is, he also applied for citizenship. I think he told me he applied in January in 23, and still, it's been what 14, 15 months, and still no decision.
Isn't that interesting?
So with green card, he got in 2-3 weeks renewal, and here 14 months no decision. So
What's his country of origin?
well, he was born in Africa.
Okay, and he applied for citizenship on the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule.
The 5-year.
And what if when he has his naturalization interview? Where will it happen? What city?
Oh, he already had the interview 14 months ago.
Oh, the interview was 14 months
Yeah,
ago.
the interview was 14 months ago.
Oh, he should sue them.
That's that's the only option, right?
Mm-hmm. But it isn't the only option, but it's also the best option because they won't mess around. If you have 120 days go by and you want a decision and they won't give it to you, you just sue them.
But it's not a guaranteed approval. I think
No.
you said that, right?
No,
But they have to make a decision.
It's a fast forward button. They're going to do what they're going to do. So if he wants to know now, then he should sue them. If he wants to chill, that's okay too.
But how much is your fee? So I can.
Mm-hmm. It's $5,000 for me,
Mm-hmm.
plus $405 for the filing fee, $405. If he pays up front, I'll knock $500 off. If he wants a payment plan, it's $3,000 plus $405, and then $500 a month for 4 months. Or he can finance it, the whole thing, through this company we know called BYD Cash that finances immigration stuff for immigrants.
And they finance over what, a year or what?
You can finance it over 5 years, actually.
Got you. Last question was if they do sue, if you guys sue, you think he'll have a decision within what, 90 days or 60 days?
90.
90.
It'll go pretty quickly. They don't mess around on those.
All right. All right.
Which field office again, though? I don't think we established which one.
Yeah, he's in Orlando.
Oh yeah, sure. Florida's good to sue. Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Sam. See you, buddy.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. I forgot to tell you. Yeah, we'll have Amani back on the show. Got my new Tottenham shirt. Tottenham's playing at noon to 12:30 today. So, or maybe that's Eastern. I don't know. Probably 11:30 my time. But that's pretty exciting. Got my new Hotspurs shirt. Got my new jacket. Hayden is here. What do you say, Hayden?
Hey, boss. How you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
Good. I'm back after a couple weeks. We spoke a couple weeks ago about my girlfriend or fiance in the UK. I just had a couple questions. At your expert advice, we have decided to elope and get married here in 2 months. We're going to get married in Denmark because it's like the Vegas of Europe, and they don't require me to stay there for a month and prove that, and give a blood sample and whatever the heck else.
Your left arm.
Yeah, exactly. So like Denmark has been really great for anyone who's thinking about doing that. But would they have an issue? I just wondered, would they have an issue with me basically like we're getting married on we're getting legally married on May 8th and I'm gonna come call you on May 9th. Like, do they have any issue with the time period between like when we get married, if it makes it look like obviously we're getting married in order to file an I-130?
I'll do it better than that. You don't wait till May 9th to call me. You call me April 8th. Because we can get a bunch of stuff started before when you go. You can have her sign stuff. You can bring stuff with you, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But in answer to your question, I made a cheeky TikTok about this. They are taking so long right now. They have no right to ask anybody, why'd you file so quickly? None. Right. I mean, this hardly ever comes up anyway.
Okay.
But remember, whenever this case gets processed, it's going to be many months from now, and no one's going to be looking at those dates. It's literally never come up to me.
Okay. Another thing, happy Ramadan, by the way, speaking of, but my girlfriend, like when we started speaking 2 years ago, she lives with her family. Her family's all Muslim, and she is less practicing than the rest of her family. She's a lot less traditional. Yeah. But we've been speaking pretty much on Snapchat exclusively and on FaceTime, mostly for the privacy aspect and to not have all of that be on her phone. God forbid her mom gets in, finds out about me in the early stages when she didn't know that she was dating an American fireman, and that's a really bad look. Problem with that is that I don't have evidence that we were speaking for that whole like first year when we were getting to know each other, and except for like saved messages, which are just the most sappy stuff you'd ever want to read. But like
that's the best stuff. That's the best stuff. I'll take all that sappy stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I was wondering if that's going to be an issue because I like, for anyone who doesn't know, FaceTime keeps zero record of what you've like our calls. I have zero FaceTime records for 2 years. We just switched to WhatsApp as soon as I started looking into this because I was like, oh my God, I have no record of any of this. So, but I just wonder if that would be an issue. That and the fact that we don't live together feels like I have no marital evidence, especially given that I'm going to marry her and put it in the next day,
Yeah. Well, we could do an affidavit from you and from her. We could do, I admit that, excuse me, it doesn't sound like a lot, but
I've got 10 people between the two of our families that would swear to the fact that they've known about me. Her best friends know about me. My friends know about her.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the Muslim insular family part of the thing that just recently discovered about us within the last 6 months to a year. So it looks worse than it is because we really have been dating for 2 years, but I've been a household name for about 6 months,
So they all know about you conceptually.
Yeah, I'm going to actually meet the whole family before I propose. I want to get mom's permission, just because that's like the only traditionalist I have in me. But
Right.
I want to ask mom for permission before we do that,
So you haven't met the family or her yet face to face?
This will be our third trip together, but the first time meeting her family. She's met my family and done all that, but this has been a relatively recent development where mom's been willing to meet me and acknowledge my existence,
I'm not worried about this.
Okay. I got a couple more. Interview.
So just to be clear, you have documentation of 2 trips together.
Yeah, this will be our third.
Like a plane ticket from you somewhere or somewhere, and vice versa.
Most recently was Christmas, and the one before that was July of last year. So
yeah, that's all good. It's
okay.
Seems like a well-seasoned stew to me. Like it's been taking time, it's been cooking, it's been percolating. I'm okay with this.
Okay. I've seen your videos about interviews for spouses and like how the interview goes and things. Is that something that am I going to get interviewed, or is that just her at the consulate when that last bit happens, or are we going to get interviewed together at some point, or would I have to go somewhere here?
This is a consular processing case.
Whatever you think, but I think we're going to do the I-130 and do the whole green card thing just so she can get here and be able to leave and do all that stuff. But
and she lives where, in England?
Yeah, in Cardiff.
Yeah, Cardiff by the sea. So no, you won't be at that interview. It'll be her.
It'll just be her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we talked last time about the ESTA, kind of like that guy was saying, where she spent 30 days here in December. She still has 60 days left on the ESTA. And you said if they enter more than twice on the ESTA, it kind of looks shady. It's
especially young people of a marrying age.
Mm-hmm. If we're already married, I wonder if they would have more of a problem with that, but
they would.
Yeah, I was just thinking I'd very much like to at least bring her one more time here, mostly because my parents love her and they want to see her and have her over to where they're from in California. But would it be advisable to say, okay, well, if you only have 60 days left on your ESTA,
That's not how ESTA works. It's not like if you come on a week trip and then you come on a 10-day trip, that isn't 17 days. It's just 2 different trips. They don't add up the days.
Okay, so would I have to apply for a different ESTA in order for her to come back?
No, if her ESTA is still valid, then she would just come back.
Okay. Well, if she goes through customs and has an I-130 pending and is married, if she was like, here's my return flights, here's my job that I'm going back to, I'm just coming to visit my husband while my I-130 is processing and I fully intend on doing that the right way, will that be an issue for customs?
Could be, if you get a jerk. We probably have a different plan, Hayden. You should email me and we should talk sooner rather than later.
Okay.
All right.
And then last but not least, this is more I know there's people watching and stuff, for anyone who's done something similar to what I've done. The number one thing that I think would be a great indicator to them that it is real is I have a fair amount of financial assets and so does she. And we are looking at joining our bank accounts pretty much the day we get married, because that's when I can legally do it. And when I looked into it, joining a U.S. citizen with a UK citizen's bank account is like a tax freaking nightmare. So if anyone knows how they do that, what bank would be good for that. They all seem to require a social security number,
Yeah, I'm sure they
and
do.
she won't have one of those. So I just wondered if there was an easy way to do that.
So tell her and know this, that Uncle Jim says don't worry about that for now.
Okay.
You don't need it. That's just a big headache. It'll be much easier once she gets here and gets a social security number.
Okay. So would you rather me just email you directly, or should I call in and have someone set something
Yeah,
up?
just email info at and say, I'm Hayden. I talked to Jim on the show, and they'll follow up.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Sounds great, man. Thanks for all your help.
Yep. See ya. All right. All right. Well, we're rolling right through. We're at the 40-minute mark. JC says, my brother's wife visited on ESTA with a pending I-130. I think they do that, especially with people from England, but might have a little bit of a different plan. Birka's here. Hello, Birka.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My immigration situation is so complicated
Okay.
because I have a conditional green card and was expired in 2021 because I was married, and I filed the I-751. But the problem is, in this process, my husband abandoned me and getting married other woman.
Say that again.
My husband abandoned me and getting married other woman in 2023 in February. And I just prepared the new I-751 for sent to Immigration Service. But the problem is, do you remember they now increase the process 4 years more?
Yeah.
And the day I prepare for send the new form, they send me the letter, they increase the process 4 years for 4 years more. And my lawyer called me and tell me, don't file the new 751 because not necessary. This is what he thinks. But
Not necessary. Why?
this is what he tell me, and I just follow his order.
Okay, let's back up. Okay. All right. So when did you come to the United States, Birka?
In November 2018.
And what kind of a visa did you have when you came?
K1.
What was it? K1?
Yeah.
And you married that person and they sponsored you for a green card and you got the green card?
Yeah, I have the green card.
The conditional green card.
Exactly.
What's the start date on your conditional green card?
Let me find my green card. When I find, okay, but it's other problem.
I know, we'll get to the other stuff. I need to get a timeline in my mind first, then I can help you.
Okay, I have a huge problem now because I have a problem with the police.
Okay, we're going to get to all that. For now, I just need to know, just roughly, when did you get your green card? I don't need the exact date.
Okay. My green card. I just a little nervous because the situation is so complicated.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't be nervous. It's just me.
Okay. Here is my green card. And they say November 4th, 2021.
And so by November...
And they say give me in November 4th, 2019.
So it started in 19 or it started in 21?
No, in 21 was expired. They give me the green card in 19, November 19.
Okay, so before 2021, November 2021, did you file an I-751?
Yeah, I filed, and they only sent me...
Hold on.
Okay.
Did you and your spouse both sign that 751?
Yeah.
Okay, and was that case ever decided?
No, always is in process.
Okay, so now it's 3 years since you filed for your 751.
In continuing process.
Right. And are you still married to that person?
No, this person getting married other person and abandoned me and divorced me in February 2023.
Okay, so the person that married you, that you got your K1 and your spouse green card through, has filed for divorce and is marrying somebody else.
Exactly.
And USCIS doesn't know that yet.
No, they don't know yet.
Did you move out or did he move out?
He moved out other state. No, he in the state, but 4 hours from here.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, have you moved addresses? You yourself moved addresses since you filed your 751?
Yes, and I update with Immigration Service my new address.
Okay. So, is the lawyer that you're talking about the lawyer that filed for your K-1 and filed for your original green card, or is this a new lawyer?
It isn't lawyer. They only file for my green card because my husband do alone the
The
K1.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. And just to be clear, as of right now, you are legally divorced.
Exactly. More than 1 year.
And so you were thinking of filing your own 751 with the good faith marriage exception that it was a legit marriage that just ended, and you wanted to file a new 751, and your lawyer said no.
Because coming the new letter, there's Immigration Service increase the process 4 years.
Right. But I mean, the worst thing, I think the worst thing that could happen right now is if you got your green card tomorrow and they never knew that you were divorced. That would be a really big problem.
Yes, but I have a legal problem now.
Okay, so tell me about that.
When I was married with my husband, he accused me of domestic violence because he's autism, he have a mental problem, but the case was dismissed. That was in December 2020. But in this November 2023, I just new driver and was 4 a.m. I driving for work and I have a line behind me and I don't have an idea was the police. I thought it was an ambulance and I don't stop. And the police charged me, fly the police, and now they have me in bond, bail bond.
Yeah.
And now I have this legal problem. And now I'm in bail. And
Okay.
I am speaking with my lawyer and explaining the situation. And they say this is maybe give me legal problem because I called them because I worry about my new 751 and say, we can file the new 751 because you have this legal problem.
No, you have to file that. So if they approve your green card tomorrow, you're screwed. You'll never get your citizenship if they approve your green card tomorrow without knowing you're divorced. They're going to say that you committed fraud and acted like you were still married when you were divorced a year ago and you never told them. And so you need to file that 750. You either need to send them a copy of the divorce decree and ask them to convert it from a 751 jointly filed to a 751 with the exception. The criminal stuff you need to take care of. You need to have a criminal defense attorney, and we can deal with all that. But from an immigration standpoint, that I believe that advice was wrong.
And the problem is they say is if we file the 1751, we need to put right there your problem with the police.
Yeah, that's fine. You have to list it. I mean, most likely that's going to get. Do you have a lawyer for the resisting arrest thing?
No, I don't have a lawyer yet because it's $5,000. Now I don't have that money.
Yeah. Well, do you have a public defender?
No, the problem is they don't file the case. Yes, they don't file the case in the computer, and if they don't file the case, I try apply for a government lawyer, but they don't do it.
Okay.
They don't file the case.
So as of right now, there's not a case. I disagree. I think you should file the 751 on your own right away and let the criminal case work itself out. We'll deal with that when we need to, but you do not want them to approve that green card right now, that 10-year green card. You don't.
What do you say about the green card?
Okay. If they approve, let's say they approve your green card tomorrow, okay? Let's say tomorrow in the mail, you get a 751 approval notice and you get your 10-year green card, right?
Right.
Then you can apply for citizenship pretty soon, right?
I suppose my green card expired in 2025. I suppose they call me for interview with my husband because they thinking I'm married. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But listen,
in 2025.
Okay, but listen, but that 4 years, that doesn't mean that's when they're going to approve it. I'm pretending they approve it tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
So if they approve it tomorrow, then you're going to apply for citizenship later, right?
Right.
If you apply for citizenship, they're going to look over your file and they're going to say, hey, on March 17th, 2024, we approved your green card. We gave you a 10-year green card because we thought you were still married, because you never told us that you were divorced in 2023. We call that fraud. We call that someone lying about their marriage status and trying to get their 751 approved when they were divorced and they never notified us. We call that immigration fraud. You can't become a citizen, and we're going to take away your green card and deport you because you lied to us.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I'm nervous now.
Now you understand?
It's a complicated situation.
Sort of, but not really.
But
Sort
my
of.
question, I have a question. For example, if I file the I-751 and I explain I divorce, right?
Yeah.
And the bail bond is pending because now I am parole. I can go anywhere because do you understand the bail bonds how functioning, right?
You shouldn't go anywhere while you're on bond. That's right.
The thing is they put me in jail. This is the thing.
Yeah. Right.
They put me in
know
jail.
Yep. I
The
know.
thing is,
And I know you have a court date. That doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about. That's a whole other thing. We'll deal with that later. That has nothing to do with this. You need to separate those things. I'm an immigration lawyer. I only care about the immigration piece. From an immigration piece, if they approve your green card without ever knowing that you were divorced, you're screwed. If they had approved it on Friday and you called me today, we'd be having a very different conversation because you'd be screwed. I would tell you you can't ever apply for citizenship. That's what I would tell you. That if they give you that 10-year green card, that you're never gonna be able to apply for citizenship because they're gonna say you committed fraud because you had a year to let them know that you were divorced and you never did.
exactly. I have my 1 year of divorce and I never notified them.
So there's a phrase in Arabic called yalla bina, let's go, vamos, let's go.
Okay. And do you say when it's filed the new 1751, I need explain my legal problem situation and put I was in jail?
For us, we have a long statement from the Birka person. We have a long statement. This is how I came to know this person. This is how we fell in love. This is how I got a K-1 visa. This is how I came to the United States. This is how we got married. This is how we lived together. And life was really good until he cheated on me and got this other woman. And then I had the 751 on file. And then he filed for divorce, or I filed for divorce. We got divorced in 2023. Here's a divorce. This was a real marriage. It just didn't work out. Please give me the 10-year green card. And you need to do that this week, not a week from, not 10 days from now, this week. If nothing else, the fees are going up on April 1st. So you really want to do it now.
Oh my gosh. So complicated. So you say I need to send a letter to immigration service for explain the situation.
That's the fastest way to do it, but I think I think it's cleaner to file a new 751, but you have to pay a new fee. So, maybe you don't want to do that. But from an immigration standpoint, the best thing to do is file a new 751 with a long explanation about the history of your relationship, with why you got divorced and why it was a real marriage, it just didn't work out, and why you want to get your 10-year green card.
And in the papers, they asking if I went to the jail. I need explain the situation too.
Yeah.
And this is process.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got arrested for resisting arrest. I made a mistake. I thought it was an ambulance. I didn't pull over. The cops got mad and they arrested me for resisting arrest. I didn't mean to resist arrest. The case is still pending. I'm going to get a government lawyer to defend me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get amended to something else, which it will.
And I living in Texas.
Yeah, so you need a lawyer in Texas.
Oh, so complicated. Where are you working?
Immigration, we do stuff at all 50 states. And we do the immigration piece. I can't help you with the criminal piece.
You say you help me with the immigrant piece?
Say that again?
You say you help me with what?
Immigration, not with the criminal. I can do the immigration part. I can do the 751. I can't do the criminal part.
Okay. I understand that.
Thank you, Birka.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Had to work on that one. She seems like a nice person. It's just a lot. Robert's going to apply at USCIS. Well, the San Diego field office would be lucky to have you, dear sir. All right. Dammy knows what's up in Texas. Must be the water or something. How's everybody doing? Oh, Cooley's here.
Hi. How How are you? No, I jumped in to see if you needed help with the girl.
Well, she had a Russian name, but she sounded like she had a Spanish accent to me.
Yeah, that's why I jumped in.
I think she got it. I think she got it at the end.
Well, hopefully she did.
All right, we
Well,
look nice
let me
for a
know if you need
Saturday.
anything else.
See you later.
Huh?
You look nice for a Saturday.
Yeah, cleaning the house and hearing you. That's great.
Nice. Thanks, Willie. All right, we have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to see what Remy has to say. Hey, Remy. You're on mute. Can't hear you, bud. There should be an option. There you go.
Yes, Jim. Oh, I want to thank you so very much for all you do. Thank you
Sure.
for the advice. Thank you for the guidance. I followed everything you advised to later, and it gave me a huge result. I want to say big kudos to you, and God will reward you. And I won't hesitate to recommend you to anybody that needs recommendation. I'll say this is the number one man to go.
Thank you, Remy. Thank you.
Okay, so quick one before the time goes. I want to thank you once again because I got my green card approved.
Nice.
Following your listing. In 3 weeks, I got my work authorization, and then just last month, that's in exactly 4 months, I got my green card approved.
Nice.
But now it's been 18 days. I've not gotten the actual card.
That's weird.
I only got my letter. Why is it taking that long?
What does it say? What does it say on the website?
It says case is being it says case approved, nothing to be done. No, I didn't even they didn't even come in for any interview. It just granted.
It's a marriage-based case?
Yes, case approved, case closed. But the I-130 was approved, the I-145 was approved, but my I-131 is still being looked into.
Yeah. So I hate to say it, Remy. I think maybe not. The green card case might not be approved yet. I don't know because
I have the letter.
You have an approval letter?
Yes, case approved, case closed.
So it should the online portal is the key here. The online portal is the key because what it needs to usually what happens is it says approved, and then pretty quickly it says your card has been produced. So your case hasn't shifted to card being produced. So I would call them on Monday and ask them what the deal is.
Okay, for 20 days now, it's been approved.
I'd really say, okay, so Kofi says it's normal. Mine took 25 days before I received my card. So I think I would wait a month before I start bothering them probably.
Okay, I'll do just that. Okay, so one more question is that, so when I finally have my card, when can I travel and where can I go to? How long can I stay outside the US?
Well, do you have a passport?
I do.
So here's what I tell people. When you get your green card, then you need to start a Google Sheet. In fact, Remy, what you should do is look at the N400. Here, let me pull it up real quick. I'm going to pull up an N400 so everybody can see because I think this is helpful. N400 form. Let's see.
Did you say N400?
N400, that's the form that you use. All right, so on the day when you apply for citizenship, you're going to have to fill out this part of the form, okay? So let me share it. All right, so how many total days did you spend outside the United States during the last 5 years? How many trips of 24 hours or longer have you taken outside the United States during the last 5 years? And then date you left the United States, date you returned. Did the trip last 6 months or more? Countries to which you traveled, total days outside the US. Like maybe I'll create a Google Sheet that people can borrow or copy, but basically this is what you want to start keeping track of. The dates I leave, the dates I returned. I don't want any trips more than 6 months. List the countries that I visited and count up the number of days because that's what you're going to have to provide at the time that you apply for citizenship 3 or 5 years from now. So you might as well start that sheet now. And if you do that and do a really good job of it, make sure that you're spending half the time in the United States and that you don't have any trips more than 6 months and you're good to go.
Okay, so you're saying that I can file for citizenship after 5 years from now?
You got it through marriage?
Yes.
You can if you're still married 3 years from now, you can apply in 3 years.
Oh, in 3 years. Okay.
And in fact, you can apply once you get your green card, you can apply it 3 months early. So really, you can apply it 2 years and 9 months, but you're going to have enough time in the United States, more than half.
Okay. Please, finally, now we have a family. From my wife that filed for me are two boys.
Your mic, I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're saying you both have a family. Go ahead.
Yes, I said my wife from my previous marriage, she had 2 boys. My own previous marriage, I had 3 boys, but my boys are still in Nigeria. So
How old are they? How old are they?
14, 13, and 10. So we want to bring them in.
How old? 14?
14, 13, 10.
14, 13, 10. And you want your U.S. citizen spouse to apply for them.
Yeah, so that we can build one family together.
Yeah. Yep. So she has to file a separate I-130 for each kid.
Okay, but she has an I-130 approved already.
She has what?
She has the I-130 approved
for each of those kids.
What she did with me.
No, this is new. This is new. Each person needs their own I-130.
Just I-130, no other form?
It's for consular processing. So it's an I-130 and I-130A, and then you send it off. And then later on, they'll get to the National Visa Center and they'll have to consular process. It's a whole different deal, but it all starts with an I-130 for each of them. And you should try to file it by April 1st because the fees are going to go up on April 1st.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
Just remember, one I-130 for each kid.
Yeah.
All right.
I-130A. I-130A.
Yeah, that's the other one. You file them together.
Okay. Concurrently.
Yep.
Thank you, Jay.
Bye, Remy. Good luck, buddy. Congrats on the green card.
Thank you.
See ya. All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks, everybody, for hopping on, especially Hooli, trying to help even on our day off work. We appreciate that. We fight for immigrants every day, even on Saturday when we're cleaning our apartment. I hope you all have a great night and a great day. Tomorrow we'll do a show, but it's all going to depend on softball. So it'll probably be later in the day, probably around 5 or 6 p.m. Sorry, Hina, but it'll be late in the day, depending on how Nord does with softball. It might be right before I break my fast. So, oh, look at Hooli putting it up there. We don't know yet. So text the word show to 314-470-3300. As soon as I know what time the show is, we'll send it on out. Thanks, everybody. Good show, and we'll see you tomorrow.